Crosington. Good keeper, big lad, lovely pair of hands. I would say his strengths, his shop stock, you know, where he's very quick, he's very agile for a big lad, and a lot of experience. Right back, Nezzy, known as Nezzy, very good player. I've been quoted in the past as saying he's the best in the 3rd division. I stand by that. Very quick, very good going forward, and again, a lad with a lot of experience. Left back, John Uzel, big honest lad, known as Who's, type of lad that I would like at the club, because he gives all he's got for every game, and is very strong on the ball, good tackler, and he's no mug in the air. Chrissy Harrison, another local lad, known as Harry. Very good on the ball again, nice and neat and tidy. If he's got a weakness, is lack of pace, but he makes up because he uses his head, and he cuts areas down, and very neat and tidy on the ball. Lindsay, very strong in the air, and at times we come against bigger sides in the 3rd division, and Lindsay's very useful because he competes and is an out-and-out winner, and again the type of lad we want to keep at the club. Andy Rogers, probably stronger on the right, but we used him quite a bit on the left to get the balance of the side, but likes going and attacking people, and very enthusiastic, smashing lad. Dave Phillips, we haven't really seen the best of him. I keep drumming into him that he's got to set his sights a lot higher, and he's got to go and go and grab it, because 1st division material without doubt. Lee Cooper, lovely left foot, is taking the responsibility, the extra responsibility, and again, players like Lee Cooper, we want at Plymouth Argyle. Mark Rowe, I've quoted him as possibly the most equipped and most skillful player on the books. Again, a lad has got to realise that he's played quite a few games now, but he's got to get in there, and he's got to stamp his 30-on matches. He's come up through the ranks, and there's every chance that Mark can improve his game and take it on from there. Tommy Tynan, well, Tommy, another one, likes to win. He always got to win, always got to be on the winning side. We'll argue with me, we'll argue with Martin Harvey, but he's a good goal scorer, and I think Tommy Tynan will always score goals. Little Stanley, could say he's the joker of the team. They all get on well with Stanley. Very good for the changing room, very good when things are a bit tense. I mean, he'll slip in the odd jokes and that, and I've been pleased for the last couple of months. He's looked particularly sharp. Tony Kello, haven't really hit it off since he arrived. He had a brilliant start, and but has struggled, but he's the ideal man to be in the change room with the big games, when there's a bit of tension on. Kevin Hodges, very quick, likes to get at people, will cause defences all sorts of problems when he's on his game, because he's another very enthusiastic lad, and like John Uzel and Lee Cooper and Dave Phillips, these are type of players we want at Plymouth Argyle.
Southend was not a particularly nice place to go. We didn't have very good, we didn't have a very good record there, and it wasn't a particularly good tie for us when it was drawn. But we managed to go up there and get a creditable draw, a 0-0 draw, to bring them back to home park, and we managed to win the return leg.
Yeah, Barking. That was a struggle. We were playing quite well at the time, but the fact that we were still scrapping in the league for points with a very small squad was never going to be easy. And any non-league side, in the FA Cup, you see it even today. They're going to give their best shot, and it's never easy, although we were at home, but we managed to get through.
Is that a goal? It is, yes indeed. What a terrible mistake there. Terrible mistake there by Argyle. Andy Rogers, in fact, letting Chamberlain dispossess him. Chamberlain knocked the ball into the centre. So it'll be Lee Cooper with the corner kick. Oh, he tries a short one, that's quite clever. Nisbet tries the shot, couldn't get the way through. But Argyle still on the attack. Uzell picking up the ball, knocks it to Rogers. Can Rogers turn inside? That one looks a bit optimistic, but he's well placed to try volley shot. Oh, that must be a penalty, surely! And the crowd really don't like that. Kevin Hodges appeared to be upended, and the referee waving play on. Hodges on the right wing, still Argyle. Nisbet breaking forward into the box. Hodges again, tries an effort. What a beautiful goal! A beautiful goal by Argyle. Lovely break down the right. And that lob by Hodges, perfectly timed. The goalkeeper Mark Kendall standing no chance at all. Oh dear, another disastrous mistake. Yes, it's Aldrich who puts the ball home. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The crowd just can't believe that. Another appalling mistake by the Plymouth Argyle defence. And John Aldrich, the man who got 2 goals in their win at Newport County, gets what could be the winner here. It's now Plymouth Argyle 1, Newport County 2. Throw in to be taken by Nisbet. Staniforth there. Hint of a foul. Staniforth did well to get that ball in the penalty box. Can Hodges... Oh, that must be a penalty! Yes, it is! Hodges was the man who went down there. And here we are in the... It looks to be the closing seconds of the match. The referee, Darryl Reeves, awarding a penalty. In fact, it was Mr. Reeves who disallowed what seemed to be a good penalty in the first half. And the final irony, it's Tommy Tynan, the man who might be moving to Newport County, who can in fact get the goal there for Plymouth Argyle. It's the referee with a whistle and his lips. There we are, the final score here at Home Park. Plymouth Argyle 2, Newport County 2. 2 appalling mistakes by the Argyle defence. But in the end, Tommy Tynan, the man who might be moving to Newport County.
It was a scrappy affair, and the odds on that we were going to go out, and Tommy at the time, if I remember, was on the transfer list, and he wasn't sure where he wanted to stay or go, and you know, that I can remember sitting and watching, and Tommy's come up to take a penalty in injury time to keep us in the FA Cup, a game that we should have won. They're expected to win, being at home, so there's a lot of tension on Tommy and one on me as a manager to try to get through the next round, and obviously the players. But he scored the goal, and we had a replay at Newport.
And that was no pushover, because at that particular time Newport were a force to be reckoned with. You know, they were a good 3rd division side, always up around the top of the table, and it wasn't an easy tie for us.
Well, obviously you're looking to maybe play against the real big boys at the time, Man U, Liverpool and all the rest of it, but all we wanted was a home tie. Darlington, when it came out the hat, wasn't what we was looking for and what probably the Plymouth public were looking for, but we knew it gave us another opportunity to hopefully progress into the next stage.
Hodges still limping, so it's probably Nisbet who'll take this free kick. Floats it into the centre. Staniforth tries a header. Oh, that's a great goal! Great goal there by John Uzell. It's a good chase by Tynan. Back to Uzell. Right footed into the box. Staniforth, can he try a shot? Good effort! What a goal! Great goal by Gordon Staniforth. And that surely is the goal that'll put Argyle through to the 5th round for the first time since they last played Gateshead in 1953.
I can remember John Uzell's goal I mean, that was a rare goal from John, but it was a cracker, and again we managed to get through, and the excitement was starting to build up.
We're all looking forward to going to West Brom, naturally because of the facilities and the ground, playing a first division side.
Always be special in my memory because I went to watch them play, and they were a very good side. The boy Thompson up front, who was a real handful, and I thought, well, we'll put Lindsay on him, and hopefully he can cope with him. But each of the players, they were a good, strong side, and they were at home. Johnny Giles is the manager. Nobby Stiles had joined them that week, I believe, as well as Norman Hunter, and it was possibly the worst time that we could have picked to play West Brom at home.
And an interested spectator at this afternoon's game will be the former Prime Minister Michael Foot, a committed Plymouth Argyle fan, of course, and hoping to see his side win here this afternoon. Mr. Foot having travelled up from London this morning. Let's hope he sees a victory for Plymouth Argyle. And they're off. Lovely sunshine this afternoon, beautiful conditions, and of course Argyle supported by 5,000 of their supporters who've travelled up this morning. That's a good start by Argyle. Staniforth breaking. Andy Rogers on the left wing. Can he take his man on? Knocks it early into the centre. There's Tynan. It's a good try by Staniforth. So a good start for Argyle. It's Lee Cooper. Nice ball. Can Staniforth get there? He does well. Staniforth into the centre. Tynan's there. The goalkeeper's at his goal. And there it is! The goal that Argyle so deserved. Scored by Tommy Tynan. He got 2 against Port Vale in midweek. He's got another today that could put Plymouth Argyle into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and the Plymouth Argyle fans going absolutely mad. Free kick for Albion. 20 minutes gone in this game. Argyle still 1-0 in the lead. And that's a good shot by Thompson. Thankfully just over the bar. And Jeff Grudgington really angry with his defence there. Some lovely play by Argyle. In the end, it's Tynan on the edge of the box. Beats his man, knocks it into the centre. Rogers is there. And in the end, Whitehead had to clear that away. Absolute panic in the Albion defence. McNaught as well to find Mackenzie. Mackenzie tries a speculative shot, and that's Grudgington just got his hand to that. And that's the first shot really we've seen from this Albion side. So in the closing minutes, are Argyle tying. An amazing win for Plymouth Argyle in his 5th round tie, and the 5,000 Plymouth Argyle supporters here going absolutely mad. This really is a memorable win for Argyle. No one gave them a chance, but they went to this West Bromwich Albion side right from the word go, and just look at the dejected West Bromwich Albion players as they leave the field. They know their side have been well and truly beaten in this tie. And Johnny Giles, obviously a lot of work for him to do.
Well, they played well, and right from the start they had a go, and they were positive in their approach, which is the right way, and it paid off for them. And I think, you know, if all teams come out with that approach, then it makes for a good game generally. We just didn't play well, and full credit to them for coming and approaching the game the way they did.
Tommy, a great team performance, and the goal of course coming just at the right time. Can you take us through that?
Yes, it was a long ball I think from John Uzel, and a lot of players would have given the ball up, but Gordon Staniforth kept on going. He's beat the goalkeeper and the defender to it. Come out, picked me out, I've chested it down and volleyed it, and luckily it went in the back of the net.
You seem to get a sort of toe poke to it.
Yeah, I didn't really catch it clean, but it doesn't really matter, does it? As long as it goes in the back of the net.
Did you think that one goal was going to be enough?
Not really, no. At that time, I mean, we went 1-0 up. We just had to keep on battling, keep on going. And the only time I thought we were safe was when the referee blew the whistle.
That was probably our easiest game, I would think, out of the whole run, which sounds strange, but then it started flying.
I went and watched them play, and we came back with a plan, and I remember lying in the bath at the end of the match with you know, with a bottle of champagne, and Martin, Harvey and myself were absolutely thrilled with the performance. The plan had worked, and Tommy Tynan, right, it wasn't the best of goals, but it was a typical Tynan goal. He was there, and he stuck it away. And that game will be in my memory for a long, long time, because the plan worked, and the lads played very, very well on the day. Here we go.
Number 1. Number 4. Against Derby County.
The atmosphere was building up. The FA Cup had arrived to Plymouth, and everybody wanted to know about us, which was fantastic. It was difficult to buy a green and white scarf. There's souvenirs, programs and whatever. Everybody wanted to get around, so everybody wanted tickets. And we were looking to move forward, and at that stage we felt that we could go all the way, really.
The highlight for me was that we used to go down to St Mellion before every round and spend 2 or 3 days down at the St Mellion Golf and Country Club, playing a bit of golf, obviously doing training as well, but it used to get us away from the club. And like I say, for the last few rounds, all the major TV companies and papers were there with us, doing a day-to-day check.
My memory of that was just the deafening noise coming down the tunnel. We leading the side out. In the warm-up before, it was really, really noisy, but nothing prepares you for a full house in the old stadium there, 32, 33,000, whatever it was. It was just deafening coming out there at 5-3 for the warm-up.
All the injury problems in the team have cleared up. Chris Harrison and Lindsay Smith are fit for the centre of the defence. Gordon Staniford up front. And so it's the team which knocked out West Bromwich Albion in the last round, when the only goal of the match was scored by Tommy Tynan. According to the Derby County management, these are the most understanding fans in the land. Some 7,500 of them have come down to Plymouth for the afternoon match, but they've seen their side fall from the heights to be involved in a survival battle at the bottom of the second division. But now, 2 matches away from Wembley, and in their lineup, 2 survivors of the side which was beaten in the semi-final of 1976. Archie Gemmell at number 4, the captain, and Steve Powell at number 6. The famous face among the Argyle supporters, he's one of them in good days and in not just good days, former leader of the Labour Party, Michael Foot. The referee, Brian Stevens of Stonehouse in Gloucestershire, who was in charge of Bournemouth against Manchester United and Brighton against Liverpool. Statistically, the 17th side in Division 3 play the 20th side in Division 2. From this atmosphere, what greater proof could there be of the magic of the FA Cup? Lindsay Smith, so important to the Argyle side that he was fit. First touch for Jeff Cruddington. Staniforth. Play answers the referee. Did well to keep control. Did Staniforth. Rogers. Gazelle. Out by Burns. Not a bad try on the turn from Kevin Hodges. Davison and Hooks forward. He's coming to Hooks. Gazelle with him. Powell. Harrison. Hooks. Gemmell needs somebody left. Robertson. Faced by Hodges. Challenged by Harrison on Hooks. It's Davison. Robertson. Harrison across. Andrews challenge. Quite perfectly. Davison. He's got away from Smith. And the goal kick. And how well Lindsay Smith got back. I think Davison thought that he'd left him for dead. Tynan. Cherry did very well. Kenny Burns had to make a play for it because Tynan was behind Burns. And Steve Cherry, who must also have been conscious of Tynan's position, did extremely well to adjust his position slightly and parry away. Lee Cooper. His first touch let him down a bit. Hodges. Determination from Uzel. Robertson. Lindsay Smith alongside. Nisbet's interception. Roy McFarlane, the team manager at Derby County. Peter Taylor just behind him. Phillips, nice touch to Hodges. Tynan, stunning fourth shot. Maybe a little hurried, but so easy to say from sitting in the stand. Good play there by Plymouth. But I feel the Stanford rushed a little bit. But John Hoare on the left there, who was a little concerned about whether his side would freeze, knows already that they hadn't. Cherry loses it. Hodges blocked by Burns. Smith. Burns goes in chase. Won by Lindsay Smith. Hurried again by Staniple. But this is a cracking cup tie. And if Plymouth are to win this tie, we're reaching the stage when they've got to have something to show for their supremacy. Home crowd showing what they feel about the first 45 minutes. Slightly nervous start by one or two of the Argyle players, but once they're settled down, have without question been the better team. But at half-time, it's Plymouth Argyle 0, Derby County 0. And there's the colourful umbrella lil, all decked out in Plymouth Argyle colours. Plymouth's record here at Home Park, they've won 12 and drawn 9 of their 22 games. And the total goals scored, 44 of the 59 have come here. So they are formidable opposition in their own city. Gordon Nisbet, the first throw of the half. A good first half. It's difficult to find a Plymouth player who didn't. Tynan. Rogers. Phillips. Hodges. 2 men over for a moment then, Plymouth. Good jump by Davison. Offers himself, Butcher follows. Lee Cooper. Falls to Rogers, does it? Good play by Barton. Then the block from Staniforth, a really good save. Barton had to get his foot in there, but it fell rather kindly for Plymouth, and Steve Cherry did awfully well against Staniforth. Rogers, blocked by Butcher. Phillips. Didn't realise that Hooks was there. The referee says that Hooks fouled it. by Steve Cherry. Gordon Stanhope was right in on him. Keeper's kick. Rogers. Nisbet. Chest. Hooks comes off, and Dave Watson, who won a Cup Winners' Medal with Sunderland 11 years ago, comes on to play up front. Quite capable of doing so. Goalkeeper available, and not at the moment under pressure. Rogers reacted well. Cooper. Rogers. He's done well again. Uzel. Corner. There goes the West Country roar again. Smith up in the area once more. Cherry claiming once more. Nothing has certainly been what a side would want in Derby's position. They're under pressure for a full hour. Staniforth. It's useful. Good try in! Off the post, no! Amazingly! It hit the far post, came across the goal, hit the other post and came out. And Staniforth looked stunned. And they looked stunned on the bench too. It was a shot worthy of winning the match. And here's Watson, a mistake by Harrison. Good play by Lindsay Smith, and after a quiet period it's all come to life again. Well, Steve Cherry proved to have been the saviour of his side. Pushed it onto the left post. Burns. Certainly has been a craggy rock, on which Plymouth have foundered for the moment at least, because a replay is needed. But how close they came, Gordon Stanhope knows better than anyone else. And this try will be talked about for a long time, and they will talk about the moment 7 minutes from time, when Gordon Stanhope sings the fingers of Steve Cherry, who pushed the ball onto one post. It came back off that post, hit the other one and stayed out. And as a result of that, Plymouth Argyle, who go off to tremendous applause, end at 0-0 and have to go to the baseball ground to try to repeat what they did at West Bromwich Albion. So much the better side for a full hour, at which point we saw a bit of Derby. But the final result, 0-0.
I was a long way away when Gordon Staniforth sort of hit the shot, but I thought it was in. And it's hit the post, and I thought it's gone in off the post, and then it's hit the other post, and I thought, well, it's gone in off two posts. And how it came out, I never know to this day. I suppose then you think, oh, we might have blown this, might not be our day, because we were so much on top. I can't remember touching the ball during the game, really.
Well, I think it's probably legendary now, you know, to hit the both post and bar. I still don't know how it didn't go in. I'm sure Stanley doesn't know how it didn't go in. You know, we thought we had done enough.
But it took another replay when everybody thought that we were down and out and that would be the end of it. All the experts have written us off.
It took Gordon Staniforth some 5 hours to believe that his shot had not in fact crossed the line. Match of the day proved the point to him. But a team who reacted on Saturday as though they'd been beaten have now put the disappointment behind them and are looking for what would be their 3rd away win in their 9th match in this season's FA Cup competition. And with the battle for Derby County's survival going on in London, it seems not inappropriate that the baseball ground is shrouded in mist. And it's up to the Derby County team, who are now attacking the goal to our left, to play their part, because if they were to make it to the semi-final, not only would they find extra revenue, but also they might find a few extra friends. Steve Buckley, and here's Plummer. Pitch is quite soft, different for the players and for the referee, Brian Stevens, who really had an excellent game on Saturday at Home Park. Butcher. Barton one to chase. Goal kick. Davison, I have a feeling, doesn't agree with the referee. Lindsay Smith, who was doubtful and who is in fact on the transfer list, and it's said that he'd like to go back and play in London again, and he's played for a few London clubs. Staniforth down the middle. Uzel perhaps a little bit slow to see that he could take that with feet rather than let it go for the throw. And now Plummer's got in behind him for a moment at least. Oh, and it's got away from Harrison. Davison free in the middle if he can cross it. I'll tell you what, it's so easy, I know, to say from up here, and I often make that observation, but Davison was drawn in where the pack was, where in fact if he'd have pulled away, he would have been totally unmarked. He went in on the near post, and they were all looking for that, and if he'd have pulled away, he would have had a free header. Tynan scored the only goal the last time Plymouth went away in the Cup at West Bromwich. Tynan, two took one, but then Staniforth got in the way of the through ball to Hodges. Kevin Wilson back. Phillips. A little bit strong. And Cherry was well out anyway. A bit deep there to try and slot it through. Well watched by Uzel. Nisbet and Robertson. Hodges. Staniforth. Scott Hodges to the right, 3 the other way. Comes to Phillips, that's a good try! Really did well to strike it first time. And Staniforth, who created the opening, and he had possibilities either way, in fact. Hodges was unmarked the other side, the ball came back to Phillips, who struck it with the outside of the right boot, but it spun it away a little bit too much from his viewpoint. Although Steve Cherry was quite grateful. Appeal for handball, but I think it was accidental. The referee obviously thought so too. Robertson. Plymouth supporters getting their own back, appealing for handball against Robertson. And most of the Plymouth support behind Cherry's goal. 15 minutes seem to have gone pretty quickly. No score, but plenty of buzz. Plummer, Robertson, up for Powell. Predict to be being seen more in attack. Powell looks a better player for it too. Buckley. So that with some comfort, and they have a man over who doesn't take the opportunity, and it was Bobby Davison. Header by Smith, didn't take it completely away, hit first time again, but well wide. Barton. Free kick given against Kutcher. Rogers. Uzel. Tynan. Uzel. Rogers. Smith is up. So was Powell. Barton's attempt surely to save the corner just knocks the ball deeper into the crowd. Plymouth's first. But Uzel is on the near post, comes away, and Cherry in trouble, and it's straight in! Straight in! Rogers the scorer. And we'll see the fullback coming away from the near post as the corner is taken. There he goes, Uzel. And the ball has a lot of curl on it, and the goalkeeper, it went right over his outreaching right arm and into the corner. Well, that is football for you. The hero of Saturday suddenly becomes the most disappointed player at the start of this replay. Well, what will they believe now? There's a real buzz behind Cherry's goal at the moment. Rogers. Not a bit fortunate to get it away, Derby. Strong challenge from Wilson. Plymouth ball given. It might be said they had 2 or 3 more controlled attacks for all the fact that Derby had the greater possession. But the goal came from a surprising quarter. Uzel with the free kick. Oh, it's come straight to Smith! Oh, what an opportunity spurned! Uzel cannot believe it, and surely Smith even more so. They got the man over, look at this, and he hit it hard when really only needed to place it, and it came back off the crossbar. Gemmell. Phillips caught. Good save! Really thumped by Wilson. Phillips in the end losing out, a little touch from Plummer. Phillips tried to get there, Wilson did, and really thumped one. Corner taken. In comes Powell, Crutchington loses. What was fouled, says the referee. He's pumping, back goes Burns. Staniforth. Derby ball. Staniforth. Only to Wilson. He's got a man over to the right. Here's John Robertson. It's on the left. Well held and needed to be. Well, Plymouth are wondering about the two men who were suddenly standing in front of Crutchington. But the linesman did not raise his flag. Oh, and he was right too. Good save and good piece of work by the linesman. Plummer certainly has made his presence felt, with much more of a problem than any forward did from Derby and Saturday. The style of the game is different. Burns. One look of the watch. Harrison. Gemmell and Phillips. Powell. And the half-time whistle goes, and Andy Rogers' goal divides the teams and maintains the dream of Wembley of the third division side. A mistake, it seemed, by Steve Cherry, the ball curling in directly from the corner. Cherry losing its flight, I think, as Uzel moved off the near post, and he went right off over the top of his hand and into the far bottom corner. Lindsay Smith, who could have made it, should have made it, 2-0, but Plymouth have the lead at half-time by the only goal of the contest. Peter Taylor comes to take his place in the dugout, and he really must be feeling at this moment that he's got the troubles of the world on his shoulders. Tremendous support for Plymouth Argyle. And are they about to join an exclusive band of Millwall, Port Vale, York City, Norwich and Crystal Palace, who between 1937 and 1976 are so far the only third division sides to make it to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Plymouth would be the sixth. Derby ball. It's Lee Cooper, the Plymouth Argyle skipper. And Derby County have brought up reinforcements. So far playing as a sweeper behind the back four and wearing the wrong colours, brown and white. He's making for the far corner. Could be a reception committee. Yes. Staniforth getting himself right in front of the defending player, who is Futcher. Smith coming forward as Uzel thinks about the long throw and finds a medium one. Cherry coming and claiming well. Robertson. Futcher. Burns. And passes which will not inspire confidence. Harrison. Phillips forward. There's some chance then that the ball might have got through from him. Wilson. Nisbet. Free kick has been given. Quite a lot of animation on the Derby bench, and understandably so. Smith. Uzel. Question of banging it away. That's what Derby were doing at home park. Wilson. Harrison. Good recovery by Nisbet. And it got a nick off the Derby player. Futcher. Staniforth. Good play. Cooper. The flag is up against Kevin Hodges. Davison. Robertson. He's got no change out of Gordon Nisbet. He's showing why he's rated the best fullback in the third division. Wilson, that's a great turn. David Phillips who got it away. Gemmell struggling to find the form of other days. Will be 37 on the 24th of this month. Tynan. It's a chance to come the other way. Rogers. And a free kick has been given against Kenny Burns. Plymouth at the moment with two players in the area. Smith coming forward. Indirect free kick. Staniforth comes across the area. Smith is at the back and gets the header off the far post and away. Again, the woodwork on Cherry's side. Well, they didn't put a lot of men in then, but Smith could have had two tonight. And did all that could have been asked of him then. Futcher. Oh, that's a bit short. Was curled in by Uzel, and he got up with Smith, and Cherry was beaten to the wide. Buckley. Offside. Against Staniford, who got one straight on the ear. Steve Buckley made the run and then did rather the obvious. Harrison, Hodges, Robertson. Stillman is rather desperate. Tynan, Staniforth, Hodges, Burns for Derby. Wilson, Davison is in the middle, so is Plummer. And the covering header was by Lee Cooper. Great roar goes up for the corner. As the captain of those supporters behind that goal came to the rescue in the nick of time. Burns forward. Futcher in front of him on the near post area, moves away. Gemmell. Nippy Cooper again. Wilson. Was the corner saved? Yes, it was. Giselle. Hodges. And we've had an hour of the match, and Derby's first replay in this season's FA Cup competition, still going all wrong for them. Plymouth leading by the goal scored by Andy Rodgers in the 18th minute. And there haven't been too many threats of that goal would be wiped out. In fact, Plymouth should have had two more. This header from Bobby Davison. Cooper, good touch. Butcher, chase from Staniforth. Harrison. Steve Buckley. Smith needing to get a foot in. Managed to get two. Cooper. Good kick for the challenge on Cooper after he'd cleared the ball. Cooper took over the captaincy after the arrival of John Haw, who started the season, the manager, guiding Bideford in the Western League. And now he's ever so close to a place in the semi-final of the FA Cup with Plymouth. Buckley. Burns. Took his time, picked his man. Plummer. Gemmell on the run. This is a chance! Plummer a bit disappointed, and I imagine that Gemmell would be as well, because Plummer played him through quite beautifully. He seemed to be on sights and then wanted to go a little wider and didn't get the shot that he wanted. And Dave Watson to come on to replace the club's top scorer, Bobby Davison. Substitution coming in the 72nd minute of the match. And it looks as though Derby have decided once more to play Dave Watson forward. I don't think there's any question that they expect Dave Watson to put his not inconsiderable physique about. Hodges. Ooh, that could have been useful. Good cover by Burns. Gemmell. Well, that's much to Gemmell's credit that he's looked so much for the ball since he missed. That was a good opportunity. Rodgers. And still. Cooper. Hodges to the right, further over is Staniforth. Two waiting in the middle. Hodges, good control in this attack. Butcher got the foot in. And Derby needing to replenish the midfield. What a good ball by Gamble. But Watson couldn't take it in stride. Uzel. And somehow he gets it through. 2 against 2 in the middle. Staniforth pulls away. Couldn't get the header directed back to Tynan. Attendance for this cup tie, 26,900, the best of the season here at the baseball ground. The 3 best gates have been in the FA Cup, and among that crowd, the manager of Watford, who at the moment finds his side waiting to meet Plymouth. And they've got 7 minutes plus stoppage time to hold on to that precious lead given them by this man, Rogers. Plummer coming back. Uzel. Derby in their centenary year. Plymouth 20 years their junior. And here's Tynan. Oh, it's a good try. And the roar at the other end, I think they thought that it came off the woodwork, but it didn't. It came off the fencing behind the goal, as we shall now see. But it was a good strike of the ball. Rogers. This is a chance for it to be sewn up if they play it right. Well, they got men back now, Derby. Staniforth not too concerned about getting on with it quickly. Throw in. Not a free kick, a throw in. Just 180 seconds plus stoppage time. Plymouth, along with Hull, I suppose, are the major cities of the country. Never in the first division. I wonder whether this will really bring football to life down in the west. 35,000 at Home Park on Saturday. So much potential there, and they've got a lovely ground and a lot of facilities around it. Futcher with the kick. Watson. Rudgington comes to collect and gets great applause for a simple collection. The nerves must be jangling. Just with his look over the top of the boards, little John Hall played in the side in the League Cup that reached the semi-final in 73-74. You can hardly bear to watch the closing seconds here. Played 2 in their last big cup match when they lost at Home Park to Everton back in 75. But this will leave them all by a great distance. Powell, Robertson, Gamble. What can the little man do? Not too much. Every clearance being applauded. Anxious looks from the bench from Peter Taylor and Roy McFarlane. What a torrid time they've had here. And it's now a question of what Mr. Stevens allowed for the stoppages. It's a corner. A moment of suspense there before Mr. Stevens made his decision in rather dramatic style. In keeping with the moment, he looks at his watch as the corner is taken, and it's a good one and a good punch. Barton. It's a good ball to Robertson. Still 5 Derby players forward. And John Robertson looks for the free kick instead of making sure that he gets the ball across. And Staniforth just prepared to run the ball away as John Hall looks on with Martin Harvey. Phillips in no hurry either. Got to get back to cover now because Cherry will hit it long. Nisbet. And again, Harrison to Nisbet. We've played a minute of injury time and Mr. Stevens has looked again at his watch. Here's Watson. And Cooper there, the captain for Plymouth. Gemmell. Robertson. And the whistle goes and Plymouth have a marvellous victory. The goal scored by Andy Rogers. His name will go into their club history, as will that of little John Hall, the manager who came out of Bideford and has carried Plymouth Argyle to the stepping door of Wembley. He goes to their supporters. All the Plymouth players are there to thank their supporters, and they are going to make it a rousing semi-final against Watford, that is for sure. The third division has a 6th club through to the semi-final in the history of the FA Cup. And as we said at the start of the match on Saturday at Home Park, there it was their West Country final. Who is to deny them the chance of another final? Well, the answer is Watford, but they're going to have to work hard at it. At the baseball ground, it's been a memorable night for Plymouth Argyle. They scored 1. This man we're looking at might have scored 2 more. And when you look back on the chances in the match, they were Plymouth's. 1 went in directly from the corner by Andy Rogers, and that goal has put them in the semi-final of the FA Cup. As they say, Andy, tell us about the goal.
Well, absolute fluke. That's all I can say about it. And the funny thing is that this morning in training, I took 3 corners just to practice taking them and messed all 3 up. They were 3 of the worst corners that you could hope to hit. And the manager said, "Oh, don't bother taking any more, it'll be all right on the night." And that's the way it turned out. I just meant to curl it in, and then it went. It was an absolute fluke. I can't see any more than that, really.
Do you think on the balance of the 2 matches you were entitled that little bit of luck?
I think so, yeah. I don't really think that Derby can complain too much, although any team that loses to a goal like that is entitled to. But over the 2 games, I think we've had more than our fair share of bad luck, and so we're entitled to a little bit of good luck. I think it all balances out in the end. Yeah.
We practiced the corners, which Andy took on the left-hand side, and in swung to the near post. And in the morning in the practices, he couldn't even reach the 6-yard box. And on the night, it's the winning goal. It's gone straight in over the goalkeeper. It's obviously down to him. He should have cut the cross out, but it's the only goal of the match, and we are obviously delighted. And it's certainly Andy Rogers. He was very pleased man at that time.
We had a tremendous following up behind one of the goals, and when the referee blew the whistle for it all being over, you know, it was a hell of a feeling to be able to go and salute our supporters who had you know, the last 10 minutes I think they were blowing the ball out of the net. Like, they kept us in it and kept us going, and it was a, you know, fantastic atmosphere, and obviously we had a fantastic night in the hotel afterwards.
What do you think of the win last night?
Brilliant. We were there.
Where were you?
Yeah.
What was the atmosphere like?
Fantastic. It was really great.
Great. Marvellous. Tremendous.
Were you at Derby?
No, I wasn't. I was at the match the week before on a Saturday, but couldn't make it last night.
Is it Argyle for the Cup this year?
Oh, I hope
Yes,
so.
we'll be at Aston
Villa. Of course it is.
You think? You're going to give them a rousing reception, are you?
Oh, certainly. They deserve everything they get.
Any past plan for tonight?
No, we're just getting them last night.
Magic, mate, magic!
Question.
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, the reception we've had down in the Mayor's Parlour,
And they come back to home park. Brilliant.
The train emerging from the one built by Brunel in 1859 carries its passengers out of Cornwall and into Devon. The area is rich in history. Out in the Plymouth Sound, a ferry passes the island named after the man who played the more genteel game of bowls. And from the Hoe, Sir Francis Drake still scans the horizon for any armada. And the choice of the Pilgrim Fathers for their club crest has this week seemed especially appropriate, as Argyle seek their own new frontiers.
Fantastic. The interest has been unbelievable. It's been a slow build-up really for about 10 days. And there's every chance that we're going to have a full house on Saturday, which will be marvellous.
The last match before the big day brings the committed and the curious to sample the different atmosphere and the local delicacy. I'll have one of those pasties, please. How much is that? 40. Do they have another name, or they just...
There was a lot of people queued all the way back. In fact, I think it went all the way down back to through Central Park, if I can remember. Yeah, there was... you know, there's a lot of people wanting tickets, and it was tremendous.
The place was just buzzing, absolutely buzzing.
That's the ticket. £4 now. Was it worth the wait?
Yes.
Yes.
On behalf of the city, you've just seen for yourself the feeling that exists in the city. We're with you. No, we want you to knock some of the arrogance out of Watford. Best of luck.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
So it's a great occasion for both sides, and that's what the FA Cup's all about. It's about dreams. And all these lads are dreaming. And let me rephrase that. I mean, there's going to be an awful lot of reality in 90 minutes' time or whatever. But it's been a great passage, and it's been a great dream for them, and I'm sure none of them would admit, let's face it, that at the start of the season, they'd all be sitting here now.
Absolutely. Well, we've brought a mascot for you, Lee Cooper, the skipper. Who else but Gus Honeyburn, Esquire? I'm sure he's going to bring you lots of luck this afternoon. Are we going to see him out there on the pitch this afternoon?
Yeah, I think we might take him out. Yeah, we'll take him out.
Okay, well, you know that we wish you all the best of luck, lads. We'll be with you there, and let's see you through to Wembley.
At the semi-final stage, it doesn't really matter who we get. It's not a question of us being a first division side and Plymouth being a third division side, because semi-final everyone's going to go hell for leather for it, so it's going to be a difficult match.
An absolutely tremendous achievement for a third division club to get the semi-final. I mean, we're actually talking about probably only 5 or 6 previous to Argyle, and the reason that we're watching them is the same as we watch every team in the cup, because you've got to win that game. I mean, if it comes to the semi-final, yes, there'll be extra time if it's drawing, then there'll be a replay, but somebody has got to win.
Come out of the change room and bumped into Graham, and he shook me by the hand and said, you know, all the best, that you always do, wish each other all the best. And I can remember him shaking like a leaf, and that gave me confidence.
Well, now the team news. Plymouth's number 3, John Uzel, was declared fit this morning after a groin strain, so it's the side which won at West Bromwich Albion in the 5th round and which beat Derby in the 6th. But the main news concerns Watford, because Kenny Jackett was ruled out today with a thigh strain. So Captain Rostron, himself doubtful until yesterday, switches to number 10. And 20-year-old Neil Price, who was on loan to Plymouth, of all people, for a month recently, plays his first FA Cup tie at left back. So there are 7 players in the Watford team, aged 21 or under, and no player on either side has ever played in an FA Cup semi-final before. What a remarkable moment for 37-year-old John Hoare, the Plymouth manager, who only left Bideford in the Western League 6 months ago to take over at Home Park where he was a player with Plymouth for 14 years. Graham Taylor, who took over at Watford in 1977, and they were in the 4th division. Nice moment there between the two managers. He's just agreed a new 6-year contract to stay at Vicarage Road. He's built more than just a team, he's built a club, and now the FA Cup final, which he never made as a player, beckons him and Watford. And the referee this afternoon, taking charge of his first FA Cup semi-final, is Joe Worrell of Warrington. And Mo Johnston, the Watford discovery of the season, 21 years old yesterday, with George Riley, he gets the semi-final started. Watford are playing from right to left. That was Bardsley. Number 6 is Lee Cooper, the Plymouth captain. Busy midfield player. Uzel is the left back. Tynan now. Steve Terry. The pitch looks in good condition. Had it watered, there's plenty of grass on it. And Villa Park, always a stately home for semi-finals. It was nicely laid off there by Tynan to Rogers. Andy Rogers takes on Bardsley. They've got players in the middle. David Phillips arriving. And Plymouth launch the first threat. They're not very tall. The men who will be looking for the header, but Uzel will go up onto the goal line. It's been taken quickly and crossed. And Staniforth nearly got in. Bardsley did. Gordon Nisbet. Lindsay Smith had a fling at it, didn't get hold of it. And it was Price who'll want to get into the game early. Says he likes the big occasion though, and he's played in the UEFA Cup, Neil Price. Hodges, Nisbet, nicely round. And the big question on this side of the field is, can John Barnes win the match for Watford on the left flank? Hodges. Nisbet to Lindsay Smith. Hodges again, took it down nicely. That's Staniforth. It's back inside again, Rostron cleared. And a good, purposeful start here by the 3rd Division team. Tynan. Staniforth. Lee Cooper. Rogers had moved into the centre then. Hodges. And Rogers is there again. Trying to turn Bardsley. And Tynan's on the near post. Can he tuck it back? He did to Nisbet in the end, and the drive, I think it caught Steve Terry as it went through. It's a corner. Nisbet, the player who had the shot. Good effort. Now Rogers, the outside left, who scored direct from a corner at Derby, remember, is going to take this one. Away by big George Riley. Nisbet again. Another deflection off a Watford player. Lindsay Smith! The first half chance. They hadn't really cleared it, and the deflection carried the ball into the path of Lindsay Smith, who, as we saw at Derby, is dangerous in that area of the field. He hit the post and bar that night. Well, then he skied the ball over in this semi-final. Little John Hall wondering whether his team would freeze. Well, the early signs are they haven't. Smith with Riley. Hodges. Sinnott. Terry. Nisbet. Sinnott. finally it comes to Hodges. Now Staniforth. Nisbet forward. Back by Price. All a bit untidy at the moment. But here's Barnes. Riley's coming towards the near post. Oh, he got a flick and it's there! George Riley came in and Watford are in front after 13 minutes. John Barnes, the man they thought might win the match, got away on the left. Riley stayed over on the far side. He timed his run perfectly to meet the cross, and Watford are in the lead. So, the third division underdogs, having started so well, find themselves a goal down. But here's Rodgers. And that was awkward for Steve Sherwood. It's a corner. Now, a test of the Plymouth character. Can they settle them down? Uzel has gone up for the corner. Cooper's there as well. And the flick on was by Uzel, and Tommy Tynan's in there. And the shot by Hodges. And Watford living dangerously. How vulnerable a team is when they've just scored. And from that scramble, Plymouth on another day might have snatched an equaliser. Flags up on the far side, referee has let play go. This is Les Taylor trying to get round Lee Cooper. And it's still Taylor, he miskicked it, Riley didn't! Saved by Crutchington. Good effort on the turn by George Riley. But Jeff Crutchington, who actually began his league career with Aston Villa, back on familiar ground today, made a fine stop, and he's kept Plymouth in the game. Lee Sinnott, the youngest player on the pitch, only 18. Waiting in the centre for Watford. It's a good cross, Johnston! Well, when you talk about Watford, you talk about wing play, and they're real wingers, not just midfield players or converted fullbacks. They really do attack the line and get the crosses in orthodox fashion, and it makes for opportunity and excitement in the area. Callaghan the provider, Johnston just too high. Staniforth turning and finds Hodges. Good position here. Took it early and just wide. Watford were caught square and sleeping. Came off Hodges to Phillips. And here's Tynan, nicely laid off that by Staniforth earlier. Here's Rodgers. Plymouth have got 6 players forward in this attack. Rodgers on the ball. Tynan. Good effort on the turn by a player who began his professional career with Liverpool, but never got into the first team. Tommy Tynan. Halfway through the first half, and it's Mo Johnston for Watford. And the cross turned away by Nisbet. Johnston again, headed back across, and Nisbet's header out. Rostron, and now Barnes. And Price has come forward, turned away by Crutchington, and put in on the far side, but the flag up, Nigel Callaghan's effort, wiped out for an offside. The red flag there of linesman Roger Dilks, who spotted the player in the offside position, and it doesn't count. This is Sinnott. Oh, Barnes, away by Harrison. Header by Sinnott, now Price. Phillips. Rogers. Cooper's made a run forward here, number 6. He's in a good position, but Les Taylor did the right thing. Who says there's no Watford midfield? He had to go back and defend against Lee Cooper. It's a corner to Plymouth, been played quickly, and Hodges! It was played short to Staniforth, a nice chip in, and Kevin Hodges' flying header not far away. Good stuff from the 3rd Division team. And it draws a mighty response from the West Country fans. It just seems as though Watford have got the greater momentum when they play the more direct football, which is their trademark, but Plymouth have had some good moments and their build-up has been measured. Riley's in there. So is Mo Johnston with the overhead, and John Barnes. Riley. Rostron's down that right-hand side as well. This is Bardsley. He lost out to Rogers, and now it's Tynan. Plymouth looking to come square with Lee Cooper. And he's got Hodges outside him. Staniforth's coming to the near post, but the ball just ran away from Hodges. The man who made the break from midfield was the captain, Lee Cooper, who's already had 3 or 4 surging runs from that position, and it's forcing Watford's Les Taylor to go back and mark him. Barnes. Riley, and Barnes is off again, pursued this time by Harrison. Watford have got 3 coming in from the far side. It's still Barnes, and it was going to be driven low for Taylor until Nisbet got in the way. Corner to be taken by Callaghan. Header out was by Uzel. Callaghan again. And off Nisbet this time as Plymouth defend in depth. Staniforth. And it's Andy Rogers trying to turn away from Callaghan in the last 10 minutes of the first half here. Nisbet for Plymouth. Surging forward. Fine run by Gordon Nisbet. Was he fouled by Lee Sinnott? Play on, Rogers. And Staniforth. That could have gone anywhere, the clearance by Bardsley. Probing run by Gordon Nisbet from right back. Rogers. And still Rogers. And Lindsay Smith, bumping and boring by Riley there. Lindsay Smith felt he might have had a penalty. Joe Worrell had a look and said no. And there's no sustained protest. They know each other so well, old adversaries, but also former teammates at Cambridge United. Rogers. Plymouth force a corner again. There goes Uzel. Cooper will take it. That's up with the flick at last, and Staniforth coming in, almost made contact. Staniforth, the man lurking beyond the far post, coming in on the flick. It's over Johnston. Here's Rostron, and now Riley. And Barnes will try and make something of it for Watford. Headed out by Lindsay Smith. It's a corner to Watford right at the end of the first half. Here's Les Taylor. So at the halfway stage in this semi-final, it's the First Division team who hold the cards with a one-goal lead. Graham Taylor's side, who scored in their first dangerous attack. Plymouth Argyle 0, Watford 1. The unpredictable nature of the FA Cup illustrated by what happened to these two clubs back in the third round when Watford were 2-0 down at Luton, I recall, and Plymouth saved themselves with a last-minute penalty against Newport County. Often acts of brinkmanship in the early rounds lead to days of glory like this later on. Glory certainly for one team anyway in the semi-final, and often obscurity for the others. Don't often remember semi-final losers. It's Bardsley putting it back. And Plymouth for the moment losing this one by 1-0. And there's Riley taking a challenge from Lindsay Smith. Les Taylor a quick free kick, and it's released Mo Johnston. And here's Callaghan. The block was by Harrison. Staniforth trying to shake off Sinnott. And here's Nisbet. Terry. Just stumbling a bit there, Steve Terry, but recovering. Big test for him in a way, with Steve Sims, the first choice centre-half, on the injured list for a few weeks now. That was Smith. This is Terry again. A long ball pursued by Barnes. So often that kind of early ball forward forces for Watford, if not a goal-scoring opportunity, at least a throw-in or a corner. And they know how to use those. Price. They force a corner this time too. Anxious time for Plymouth, 5 minutes into the second half. They can't afford to concede a second goal at this stage. And Barnes flick on. That was bad timing by Lee Sinnott. His jump sending him into the back of Staniforth. So it's Harrison with the kick for Plymouth. There's Tynan. Smith is forward. Rogers. Into Tynan, a chance here, and it was a drive by Staniforth, which he didn't get fully behind, I don't think. It needed really hammering that. And Sherwood saw plenty of it. Phillips forward. To Rogers. Bardsley was quick. The flag was up. Uzel on Barnes. Lindsay Smith covering. Still on the transfer list actually, Lindsay Smith. Tynan. Forward by Rogers. Staniforth marked by Sinnott. And he's foxed him. And there are 3 in the middle here for Plymouth. And Hodges arriving, taken out by Price. Good defending by the 20-year-old in his first FA Cup tie. Plymouth are moving well again. Cooper trying to get the flick on it. Here's Phillips. John Hoare knowing that a bit more momentum now, perhaps if they could just increase it by a gear, the 3rd Division team could still have a say here. Rostron tries to get Watford moving, a good break by him. So much enthusiasm about the way Watford play, epitomised by the burst then from the captain from his own penalty area. Here's Tynan. And now it's Uzel. Callahan. Staniforth to Cooper. Oh, it's a bad pass, but John Barnes stumbled a bit and Nisbet got it forward to Tynan. He does like to take his shots quickly on the turn, Tommy Tynan. You can see why last season with Newport he was the highest scorer in the country. Riley. Barnes. And still Barnes. And Riley just needed a touch out to Johnston. It got one then from Rostron. And Johnston's cross, and Riley goes in, and that's so close. And how it stayed out, only the people tangled up there will really know. The cross came from Mo Johnston. Riley got tangled up with Uzel, and the ball trickled wide of the post. By Sinnott. Cooper finds Phillips for Plymouth. Oh, Steve Terry saw that. Went through 2 tackles. Les Taylor. Actually, Terry got hurt in that last challenge. This is Bardsley. That's meant for Riley. Harrison is covering for Plymouth. And with 15 minutes to go, indeed 15 minutes away from Wembley as far as Watford are concerned, they have an injury to Steve Terry, who emerged from defence there to go through 2 strong tackles and then got hurt as he got through a third. I think it was Lee Cooper, the last player that Steve Terry actually collided with. But Richard Jobson, the substitute, is warming up in case. Graham Taylor and John Ward, one of his coaches there next to him, knowing now, as the supporters behind them know, how close they are to Watford's first FA Cup final. Steve Terry is back in the action. Callahan. And again, Johnston. Harrison. That's one for Tommy Tynan to chase. Now, can they get anybody forward in support? Staniforth's trying hard, and they've got 2 coming now from midfield. One of them being Hodges. Cooper is square, number 6. Nisbet. Rogers. Taking on Price. Corner to Plymouth. Quickly taken, and Rogers and Cooper working it, and the floated cross Headed back in by Staniforth. And a chance for Lindsay Smith, maybe. Steve Terry is going to hobble off with about 11 minutes left. And he'll be replaced by Richard Jobson, whose only other appearance in the FA Cup competition was for Burton Albion. Now, how are Watford going to reorganise? Will George Riley, I wonder, go back and play centre-half? I'll tell you at Northampton and Cambridge that George Riley can play at centre-half as well as at centre-forward, and it does appear that in the last 10 minutes of this FA Cup semi-final, the man whose goal may take Watford to Wembley has had to totally change his role. They've moved Barnes into centre forward and got Jobson on the left. Here's Johnston. And that was Barnes, who's moved now into Riley's position. There's Tynan. Cooper for Plymouth. And Rodgers making a spirited run on the left, blocked by Riley. Rodgers again. But he's switched from left to right, Rodgers, these last few minutes. Here's Staniforth. It's Rodgers again. Little ball in. Riley's header out. Staniforth with a chance. Oh, good tackle by Riley, the emergency centre-half. Nisbet. And Plymouth are having a good little spell here. Nisbet's cross. And Sherwood comes and misses it completely. Or rather, fumbles it, and Bardsley clears. Harrison back in for Plymouth. Header this time was by Les Taylor. Now Uzel. And Watford need to just get the ball down and control things a bit. Jobson takes on Nisbet. Jobson with a fresh pair of legs, remember. Steve Sherwood had an anxious moment then. So too did Graham Taylor. Forward by Harrison as Plymouth prepare for a defiant last gesture. Les Taylor, Rostron, and it's opening up here for Watford. They've got 5 against 4. Callahan. Again. Taylor. Bardsley missed his tackle, but not the second time. Plymouth don't quite seem to know what to do with the throw. It's Uzel. Tynan is still willing. Riley still dominating in the air. Bardsley forward. Smith. And Riley again, he's performing heroics back there. Barnes a good turn. Made himself some space. And found Callahan. 3 minutes to go. Callahan skips past Uzel. 3 coming in from the far side for Watford. And he was taken on the edge of the area. Nigel Callahan, as he threatened to go by Lindsay Smith as well. So, time for a few words between Billy Hales and Graham Taylor there. John Hoare, obviously feeling the sands of time are running out for him now. His team are defending, they're a goal behind, they've given away a free kick. And Callahan drove it. Graham Taylor's team less than 2 minutes away. Jobson to Barnes. Like a foul by Rostron. Plymouth have the ball. Lee Cooper forward. Header by Price. Are we going to have a dramatic finish? If If we are, it's got to come from Plymouth and come quickly, because Lee Sinnott is in there to clear. Nisbet to Staniforth. And it's Staniforth. And he pulled it back for Hodges to shoot. And what on earth can you say about that? It was so close that that's sometimes the difference between getting to a cup final and getting knocked out. Staniforth, some trickery on the line. It was well conceived. And he pulled the ball back to little Kevin Hodges. And Watford was surviving there by the width of a goalpost. In the last minute as well. Barnes. That's Uzel. Lindsay Smith was fouled. We're coming into time to be added on for stoppages. This must surely be Plymouth Argyle's last chance. They're throwing everybody forward. It's aimed towards Lindsay Smith. And there's a chance here for Tynan. No, there isn't. Watford had pulled them all back apart from Mo Johnston. And the header on could find Callaghan. And he could make for the corner. Gordon Nisbet. Just look at them on the bench. And on that one too, such a contrast in expressions. Here's Jobson for Watford. Looks it back, and it's Uzel's half clearance. Taylor! Jeff Crudgington knows that time is almost up. Sinnott. Callaghan. And they're going to want this to run through to Sherwood or Watford as John Uzel gets a spot of cramp for Plymouth. And the long kick being chased by Barnes. And Watford are through to Wembley for the first time in their history. George Riley's goal wins the semi-final and takes this remarkable story of Graham Taylor's club a stage further. But on the same day, as they celebrate, it's bad luck for Plymouth Argyle, whose third division challenge ended here with some dignity. But little John Hoare, the manager, has every reason to feel pleased with his team. At no time were they overrun, at no time were they outclassed, and at no time did they lie down and die. But Watford, it seems, cannot be stopped. Promotion from the 4th division only 6 years ago, then from the 3rd, then from the 2nd, then runners-up in Division 1, then through to Europe, and now with a team almost rebuilt in the last 12 months, Graham Taylor and Elton John have steered this club through to the FA Cup final at Wembley, and Graham Taylor's proudest moment surely as he goes to salute the fans of this family club. Only one goal in it.
It just wasn't meant to be. That's what I felt. And I think if we had, if we had got a goal, I think we would have gone on to win it. Because of Tells, we were chasing the game after 13 minutes. It was a brilliant goal from their point of view. It was a great cross. George Riley just got his nose in front of Lindsay and headed a goal. Superb goal. But we certainly put up a good show, and it'll be in the old memory bank for a long time.
It's a big part of the club's history. It's arguably their greatest achievement. People talk about the playoff victory at Wembley, but then that was to come fourth in the 4th division. So you could say that coming fourth in the FA Cup would rank above or alongside that. So they'll never forget it here, and as long as anybody's involved with the club, you'll never be allowed to forget it.
And obviously during my managerial career, when I found Graham Taylor, he used to say, "Oh, Kevin Hodges," he says, "you've given me nightmares over the years because of the one that just went past the post." He said, "If that had gone in, You know, it might have been you in the cup final rather than ourselves, he says. So I think he realised on the day that they were a little bit fortunate.
Right behind the Pilgrims, all the West delighted. We know that Argyle will win. So West Country folk, from near and far smile, we're going to Wembley with Plymouth Argyle. They've got what it takes to shake the rest up, so it's onward to London to pick up the cup. Oh, West Country folk, from near and far smile, we're going to Wembley with Plymouth Argyle. They've got what it takes to shake the rest up, so it's onward to London to pick up the cup.